أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Salam TV episode number 28. It's great to be with you all tonight. I have with me tonight my co-host Brother Ahmed Zreika, the President of the Islamic Society of South Australia. So it's a great honor for myself to be working with you tonight. How are you, Brother Ahmed? Doing well?
I'm excellent. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, I know like everyone was waiting for this time, especially to have the one who behind the scene to be in front of the scene. Okay, today, before we are going to introduce our special guest, I have to go and ask Brother Zuhair some question about himself first, and about how he spent his the Ramadan, especially during the Salam TV. And to give us some insight how he spent this holy month. Brother Zuhair, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. You put me on the spot there.
Why everyone wants you to be on the Salam TV?
I don't know. That's a good question. Can we find out? Can we find out? I don't know what's
Everyone
going on.
say why Brother Zuhair is not on the in front of the camera and start talking to Salam TV. By the way, Brother Zuhair is the director, as a general manager for the Islamic Society of South Australia. He's been working now for the ISA for almost 1 year, Brother Zuhair, can you please tell us a bit about yourself, what you are doing in the society, how was your journey about the Salam TV? Give us some information about.
Okay. Good question. I wasn't prepared. Well, look, my journey with this started in November 2018 when the grand opening for Al Salam Community Center had first commenced. Alhamdulillah, it was a great opportunity for me to actually start at that period of time because that's when we had the grand opening for the Al Salam Community Center. My first project was to work, at that time Sister Sahar was with us, and that was one of the first projects that we were working on with the community. And it was a really great introduction. It was a great way for me to meet the society, the community members, and everyone else that is involved within the society. So alhamdulillah, it's been a great journey for myself. That is a long story as well, I won't get into that. But alhamdulillah, 2 years later, it's been almost 2 years. In November it will be 2 years for myself. Now we are in Ramadan 2020, and alhamdulillah, my first Ramadan with Issa was excellent, as you saw last year. Everyone else at home who's watching has also experienced Ramadan with us last year. That was interesting.
Brother, before we talk about the Salam TV, I want really to hear from you about your experience with the Muslim community and the engagement with the Muslims. Especially you are doing a lot of project and activity with the youth. Okay, so just give me some experience about how you are dealing with this. Like it is hard, it's easy, it's difficult. So please explain to us and to the viewer how this engagement going so far.
Okay, briefly, because this is the first role for the society to employ someone responsible for event management coordination and other responsibilities and duties, I found myself at the start in a bit of a challenge because just trying to build the actual position itself, work with the society, the committee, and also trying to collaborate with the Muslim community, trying to bridge the gap and try and build upon this foundation of now there is someone working and has some responsibilities, so how can we work together to actually enhance the Muslim community, and we can improve the quality of the services that are provided and the events that we're providing for the community. Like you mentioned at the start of your question, specifically working with the youth, yes, my main focus, I enjoy working with the youth. Alhamdulillah, we have many brothers and sisters around Marian Masjid who aren't really connected with the masjid. And our aim, as we have discussed in our committee meetings and how we've discussed with Sister Noor and on our daily meetings and that, is how we can engage these people and utilize them and try and extract from every person their qualities and their strengths and try and work upon their weaknesses and try and get them involved in the community and see how they can contribute, even if it's the smallest amount, but whatever they are able to contribute, to try and contribute that. So alhamdulillah, we're still at the start. It's very new for myself. I've got lots of shortcomings myself. I'm still learning as well. It's going to be a long journey for myself and for the community as well. Good.
Did you enjoy to work with the Islamic Society?
It's been great. Honestly, wallahi, it's been a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a long story to how I got there, but that's for another day, inshallah. But it's been great. In summary, it's been great, alhamdulillah.
Excellent.
Now, Al Salam TV.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Al Salam TV, it's been a great initiative, alhamdulillah, by the Islamic Society of South Australia. Our viewers, alhamdulillah, have been giving us lots of good feedback from home. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. That's great, alhamdulillah. So with the short time that we had to prepare the program, because we were actually, in our committee meetings, we actually had a lot of hope. I don't know if you remember, Ahmed, we actually had hope that the masjid would open for Ramadan. We weren't planning for the masjids to be shut, to be honest. So just before the restrictions actually came in, we were still planning how to prepare for Ramadan, what events we're going to provide, what services. So it was really a last minute preparation for us to actually organize Al Salam TV. And alhamdulillah, the team done really good. As you know, we have 7 to 8 brothers and sisters working on this project. It's not just myself, it's not just yourself and Sister Noor, but we actually have a team behind Al Salam TV, and they deserve all the credit as well. MashaAllah, they're doing a great job, alhamdulillah. It's not easy, especially when you're preparing content on a daily basis. It's not like once a week or twice a week, it's a daily basis program. So alhamdulillah, may Allah reward from everyone, inshallah, for what they are doing, because everyone's putting a lot of effort, alhamdulillah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Brother Zuhair. May Allah reward you for everything you have done. By the way, brothers and sisters, Brother Zuhair he spent almost all his day and night in the mosque, and just for prepare for the Salam TV and all the episode and the segment. If I want to talk about Brother Zuhair, like we need like more than one like segment for 1 hour. But we have today very special guest about very special topic, okay? And this topic you will really enjoy. And I will leave for Brother Zuhair to introduce our guest speaker.
Yes, today we have a very special guest with us today, Brother Fahim Al-Hashimi. If we can get a shot of Brother Fahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Brother Fahim?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Zuhair.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. And assalamu alaikum, every viewers who are watching us at that moment.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome, Brother Fahim. It's excellent to have you with us. So, Brother Fahim is an award-winning Afghan Australian filmmaker who has journeyed from Afghanistan to Australia since 2008. And since that time, he is filming and researching this journey step by step in order to meet these far-flung countrymen and document their story as they return on the journey, as they go to Afghanistan to see themselves and the origins of their forebearers, and maybe even to meet some of their new relatives. So in a short research in 2008, in Afghanistan, Brother Fahim found that almost 95% of Afghan people in Afghanistan are not aware of the Afghan achievements in the Down Under in Australia. So Brother Fahim, just before we get started with all the questions, inshallah, and get deep into the topic of tonight's episode, maybe just give us and enlighten us a little bit about this, if you don't mind.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As you just rightly introduced, when I was in Afghanistan, obviously, it was, let's start from the beginning. When, for the first time when I was selected to a film festival in Germany, I went there and I heard about the Afghan cameleers in Australia from a filmmaker, and in Berlin Ali Film Festival. From there, the idea came in my mind that Afghan cameleers in Australia, I myself, as a person who was educated in journalism, I wasn't sure about the Afghan in Australia at all. So when I heard in Germany, then I went back to Afghanistan. It was in my mind to find out actually who was this Afghans in Australia. So become interested more and more. So I went there and I did a bit more research, wanted to find the book in all Afghanistan. I couldn't find even an article about Afghan cameleers. So, and when, as a journalist there, I was going to interview people, and in between my interviews, for example, with the ministers or the premiers or whoever were interviewing, I was asking the question, do you know about Afghan camel? Nobody was knew about this. It's just the normal people leave behind the normal people, obviously, the official people.
So it's lost history.
Yeah, there was lost history in Afghanistan.
Brother Fahim, Afghan camel, okay, we've heard about this word a lot, okay? And we're not surprised that if we tell you, like, majority of the Muslim community, they don't know the origin of the Muslim community here in South Australia, okay? And we've heard that the first Muslim coming to Australia is coming to South Australia, and that's why we have the first mosque in Australia, in South Australia. The first one is mosque is Marine Mosque, okay? So let's start with Marine Mosque and go like forward up to like today, and tell us your story about like since you start filming this documentary up to now. Okay, so let's start with the Marine Mosque. Okay.
Okay, let me finish my first part. When from Afghanistan we came 2008 to Australia, as Brother Zuhair was introducing.
Yep.
Soon after, I found that the history of Afghan cameleers in this country. As you said rightly, they were first landed in South Australia in Port Augusta, obviously there. And the first mosque in Australia is actually Adelaide Mosque. So this is a very permanent Australian mosque.
It's not Marine Mosque?
No, not Marine Mosque. Marine Mosque was built after. But the way we're talking about the mosque, Adelaide Mosque is the first permanent mosque.
Yeah.
Marine Mosque does not exist anymore, just a place that...
A replica, I think.
Yeah, a replica council has made there. So the Adelaide Mosque is the first mosque in Australia. This is documented, everything is there.
Okay, this is good. This is the first time I've heard. All the time we've heard that Marine Mosque is the first mosque.
No, Adelaide is the first mosque in Australia, yeah.
Yep.
And when these Afghan cameleers are start journeying, obviously, to get by the time to get to Mari is a long way to go, especially with the camels.
Yep.
Yeah, so they wanted to pray, they wanted to do their worship, they wanted to their religious need on the way to get to Mari. So they built mosque everywhere, and we have mosque in Adelaide, we have mosque in Broken Hill, we have mosque in Farina, we have mosque in Mari. Obviously, in Mari you have 2-3 mosques. But by the time one mosque was demolished by some problem, which we can talk after, what difficulties did the Muslim face, and the second mosque they built, and the next mosque they built. So that's how they were going through to the Mari.
Okay, cool.
So tell us, just in summary for our viewers who don't know, who are the Afghan Cameliers? Just briefly in summary, who are they? What is their origin? Where are they from? And why did they come to Australia?
That's a great question. Although they called all Afghan, but generally they were not all from Afghanistan. So lots of them came from India, today Pakistan, and Balochistan, which was then Balochistan. So, but 95% of these cameliers who came by camel to Australia, or known as the cameliers, Afghan cameliers, came from Afghanistan. But borders has been changed since then, because we're talking about 1860.
Yeah.
And the borders has been changed from British India to Pakistan, and Balochistan not exist anymore. So the Pakistan become an independent country, India become an independent country from British India. But Afghanistan been always Afghanistan. So that's why the name Afghan been always
Like dominated.
the area originally, so they called them Afghans. But in reality, they came from India, Pakistan, today's Pakistan, and Afghanistan, obviously. So that's where they came from.
So the name Afghan is like dominated, but actually the people like from India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan.
Yeah, as I said, then India was not exist. Yeah, there was British India,
Okay, cool.
occupied by Indian. Pakistan existed in 1947, which is again, Pakistan was not there.
Yeah.
That's why when they came here, they were called Afghans. But if you just geographically you divide them today, they are part of India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan.
Okay, cool. Brother Fahim, when we mention Afghan Cameli, okay, all the time we relate it to the Islam, to the religion of the Islam, okay? So can you please, like, from your documentary, inform us how did they practice their religion, okay, and what's happened to them now, okay, where are they?
SubhanAllah. It's a very big question, and it's a very good question. Always I want to talk about the Islamic value of the Muslim cameliers in Australia. When they came here, obviously, they were cameliers. They were traveling by camels. They're going from one place to another place. It used to take 6 months or 5 months to go from one spot to another. These people were very strict on their religion. Anywhere they were going to, they had their halal meat, had to be there, halal meat.
So they were very practicing and very religious, were they?
Yeah, exactly, when they were traveling around.
So you mean strict, this mean like practicing?
Practicing,
Not like
yeah,
strict
practicing
in
all the
different-
time their religion.
Yeah.
To have their 5 times pray. Definitely their prayer mats was always on the top of their loads of camels,
Yep.
so there are lots of pictures of it. And they wanted to, especially in the month of Ramadan, which we are now in, Muslim or Muslim Afghan cameliers, then they were never working during the month of Ramadan. They were just wanted to do their prayer. So they stay wherever they are. They just want to do their Ramadan, and this is very well known because of then there was exhibition and all of this works was going on. So in the month of Ramadan, the Muslim cameliers was not working. So everyone knew that these people are not working. So, and from other side, in terms of marriages, they always wanted to have their own Islamic nikah. Yeah, you call nikah. So this is the agreement of the marriage. Although they had to go outside and do the official with the church kind of marriages because they wanted the certificate of the marriage. And then when they were coming home, they do their own sort of nikah as well, so Islamic way of it. And this is something that they used to do. And as soon as there was something against their religion, they were obviously not getting upset, but they were trying to find out and solve the problem. Yeah. For example, people are getting everywhere somehow to be discriminating against them or against their religion or against the way they're practicing, especially in terms of water. So, you know, we are doing ablution or wuzu.
Yep.
And then the wuzu was inside the pool. So the pool, people was getting upset, why they're doing this inside the pool, they're washing their feet, for example. Yeah? So, and this sort of problem was always there, but this Afghan was trying to make the way as much as easy as possible for them and for the community.
Yeah. All right. So we are talking now about the 80s, like 1884, you said?
1860.
1860.
To after, yeah.
Okay. So when you said like 95% of them like are from the Afghani background, do you know that the population of the Muslim community at that time, and you are talking only about Port Augusta or like some like?
Let's put it this way: when the Afghan come here to Cameliers, we're talking about. Yeah. So as I said, Afghan, they were not all Afghans.
Yeah.
When we talk about them, they were. They all together they came to Australia was 3,000 people. Yeah. So 3,000.
3,000. Okay.
Yeah. And they were not allowed to bring their wives.
Okay.
So when they were not allowed to bring their wives,
Why they're not allowed to bring at that time?
That's a big story behind this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this now, and then we go there.
Okay.
3,000 of them, if you take, for example, how many percent was Afghan, so let's say 90% Afghan, so 2,500 sort of, they were Afghan, or coming from Afghan background, yeah. And for the topic of the women, they were not allowed to bring them over. I think there were 2-3 reasons. Number one was the fact that the immigration system of then, they didn't want to have Afghans to have their kids and children here, and then there was a lot of restriction in terms of immigration then.
Yep.
And the second, I think that was very difficult for them as well to bring them over.
Yeah, so just quickly, Brother Fahim, before we go to our first break, a 5-minute video about the Afghan Cameliers, just 2 quick questions. Number one, they weren't all Muslim when that came out first. Is that correct?
We have records that some of these people were Sikhs, Sikh from Indian background.
Yeah.
Sikhs, yeah, they call it, and Hindus. Yeah, they were not all Muslims.
They weren't
But the
Muslims.
minority, very, very, very small minority.
Okay, so majority were Muslims.
Majority of, vast majority. Right?
Yep, sure. And last question before we go to our break. So what inspired you to really research and develop, what helped you to develop an interest in this particular rich part of Australia's history, and why did you decide to research it? Just before we go to the break, if you want to enlighten us about this.
Yeah, why not? As I said before, when I was in Germany and come back to Afghanistan and saw the gap in between, and when I came to Australia, actually 2008, find that there are actually a very big story of the Afghans are actually missing. There were books, articles, news in Australia, but because I was a filmmaker, so a documentary filmmaker, you always look for a subject. And as I said, when I find this subject, that was the trigger that I wanted to do this. And after 20 or 25 days of my arrival, we start filming this significant history of Australia.
So it really hit your heart straight away.
Yeah.
Excellent.
SubhanAllah.
Somehow, yes.
Excellent. Well, for our viewers at home, we'll be back with Brother Fahim, inshallah. We'll talk a bit more about the Afghan Cameliers. We'll leave you just for a 5-minute break, inshallah, with a video from Brother Fahim. If we can go to the video now, inshallah.
این مستند داستانی است از افغانانی که با ریختاندن خون و عرقشان در ساخت و ساز کشور استرالیا نقش بسزایی را بازی نمودند. افغانانی که به بهانه رنگ پوست، زبان و مذهبشان از جامعه سفید پوست این کشور در دشت‌های سوزان و خشک استرالیا رانده شده و حتی هویت این افغانان به شکل مرموز محو گردیده است. بعضاً پاکستانی مینامندشان، بعضاً هندی و بلوچی.
This is the biggest thing that has ever been done in recognition of our forebears, our ancestors, our grandfathers, those men and their animals that brought the transportation industry to Australia. They were a proud race of men. We are a very proud race of descendants.
این دلاوران راهی را طی نمودند که دیگر هیچ قدرتی در سالهای 1860 میلادی قادر به انجام آن نبوده است. این افغانان سرک ساختند، لین تلگراف و خط آهن ساختند و از جمله اولین مسلمانان این کشور به شمار می روند. و اما دولتین استرالیا و افغانستان هیچ توجهی را حتی بعد از 115 سال ورود افغانان به این کشور انجام ندادند. بنابراین برای افغانان رازی است که برای اولین بار به شکل داستان مستند ارائه می گردد، داستانی که بازیگران اصلیان نیاکان تنها و فقید افغانان بوده که به شکل مرموزی در دشت‌های سوزان استرالیا از بین رفته و بدون هیچ نام و نشانه دفن گردیده اند. میلیون ها دلار ثروت این افغانان نیز ناپدید است. منازلشان غصب گردیده، زمین هایشان به فروش رسیده و حیواناتشان به شکل وحشیانه‌ای در دشت های استرالیا به سر میبرند. Abdelwahid, did you meet with Abdelwahid?
That was 100 years ago.
That was long time before us.
How you know he went back to Afghanistan?
We know that.
We know people know him. Who was alive?
Yeah,
They
when he was
know
alive,
him.
they know him.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali know him. Jumahan know him.
Salam Muhammad know him.
Salam Muhammad know him. We don't know.
Okay, they told you that he went back to Afghanistan.
Yes, he went.
He went and bought a house opposite the parliament in Sydney Parliament.
And they take the house.
They take it over.
Who took it over?
Government.
واقعا افغانانی که در سالهای 1860 تا 1920 در استرالیا سرازیر گردیده بودند، کیها بودند؟ چی کارهای مهم را در این سرزمین انجام دادند؟ چی زبان صحبت می‌کردند؟ مذهب و فرهنگشان چگونه بوده است؟
MashaAllah, that was excellent video, Brother Fahim. Brother Fahim, let's focus now about the identity of the Muslim community from the generation of the Afghani Kamili. You mentioned before, it's like they start 1860. We are 2020 now, so it's almost 180 years, okay?
60 years, yeah.
The 180 years, there are many generations that were there. Okay, some of them I've heard like they've already vanished. They don't know anything about their religion. Someone has mentioned to me as well, like till now they still call their kids Islamic names, but they don't know anything about their religion. Okay, so as a Islamic society or Muslim community or Muslim organization here, what we can do for them, what they are expecting for the Muslim community. I like you've told me before that they're really expecting the Muslim community to engage with them, okay, to talk to them, to have some services, some activities. From your experience and after your like beautiful documentary, can you please explain to us or explain to the Muslim community what the generation they expect from the Muslim community?
SubhanAllah, that's a very good question, brother. Let's start when we talking about the Afghan Cameliers, because when we're talking about the Afghan Cameliers identity, the Afghan Cameliers identity being tied up very, very big with the Aboriginal identity as well. Because Afghan, when, as I said before, the Afghan were not allowed to bring their wives, so they get married a lot with the Aboriginal people. And now we have a big community of Afghan Aboriginal people in the outback of Australia. On one article I read that there are 1,300 Aboriginal people who become Muslim in Australia, and they are actually Muslim. And this coming background from the Afghan time, so they were just from the fact that you said that what we can do for the Afghan Cameliers. Obviously, as you said rightly, there are lots of them, they lost their religion at the beginning, as I said before, because they didn't have their Muslim mother with them.
Mm-hmm.
So when the mother is not there, obviously the father is always traveling. It's very difficult to keep up with the
It's
religion.
a good point,
Yeah. And then they lost their religion. But for the when I was actually interviewing people, for example, the second generation of them, they were still remembering that the Hazan time, for example, they were saying that my parents was giving Hazan and 5-time prayer and fasting, all of this stuff. But the third generation, which is we are now in, they almost forgot everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I was meeting with them, normally they were asking from the Muslim community to help them in regard to the religion, whoever actually was a little bit aware, especially second generation who are still alive. For example, I interviewed one woman who was 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that was the second generation, and they were always asking me, where was you guys before to come and help us in terms of religion? This is, I'm talking about 2008 or 2009, so almost 11 years ago. It was a little bit, not a little bit, there's a big gap between Muslim and those people then, because they were wanted to be buried in Islamic way, but there was no way to do it. Yes, so there were no place to go and find somehow to be buried in Islamic way, and let alone this meat or halal and stuff. So if you're living in the middle of Australia, it's very difficult to cope up with this stuff. So they normally was asking to get help from the Muslim community in regard to the barriers of their parents or their grandfathers or whoever they were. I was a couple of times they asked me to bring people, so which I did actually. For I think 3 years ago, Dean Mohammed was passed away, who was the first police officer of Afghan Cameliers who became police officer, and he was knowing everything about this religion, praying and saying kalima and stuff. So he was actually a person who told me that when I passed away, so please make sure to bring someone to pray for my janazah. Yeah, so which we did actually. So in Port Augusta, we took people from here, from Afghan community. We went there, although they was doing because of their family in the church, but we did our Islamic way as well for that pool right there. So this is something we did, and they were asking us.
Yeah, before we watched the video about this policeman, so do you think that as organization or like society, can we do something for the current generation, or do you think they are already disconnected and they don't want like anyone to be engaged like in terms of the religious things?
I think that disconnection. I don't think they're disconnected, because there are disconnection obviously, but they can be repaired. So we can repair that. I mean, a lot of Afghan Aboriginal or Cameliers are actually descendants of those people around the outback of Australia who still try to find out about Islam, still try to find out how they become Muslim, and still they try to go and practice. If you watch my documentary, there are 2 people I interviewed with them. They are actually coming to the Adelaide Mosque. Anytime they came to Adelaide to go there and pray and just to learn how to pray in Australia.
So
in the mosque.
Do you think still there is hope that we can communicate with them, yes?
Yes, there is hope. I think it's a very, very big hope, obviously, and it needs a little bit commitment. You need a little bit work. It's not easy to do it, because to get access to those people and to talk with them is a bit difficult. But if you get to it, I think is very, very good. And if you can gain the trust, that's another thing, because these days, obviously, a lot of the Afghans, as I said before, they were intermarriages with the Aboriginal people, and Aboriginal people are in the outback of Australia, and to get to them is not
Okay,
easy.
before we move to this point about like a relation between Afghan and Aboriginal, let's watch this like short video about this policeman that Brother Fahim met him last time.
هنوز هم قصه ها از لنگی ها و طرز لباس پوشیدنشان می نمایند. بعضا می دانند چند کلمه پشتو و دری صحبت نمایند و تعداد هم قادر هستند کلمه محمدی را به زبان شکسته به یاد آورده و به خوانش بگیرد.
illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Excellent. So we've just seen that video, Brother Fahim. Would you like to shed some light on that video and just make a comment before we go to the next part?
Yes, sure. The video was actually recorded 2009, and the guy we just interviewed is Din Muhammad. Din Muhammad was one of the Afghan cameleers who was a policeman. He was a very proud police officer in Port Augusta, and first time when I met him, he married with an Aboriginal woman, and his wife is still in Port Augusta. His family is in Port Augusta. Very respected people, very good people. Anytime I was contacted them, they're very open to give information on about the Afghan, especially Afghan cameleers. First time when I met Din Muhammad was, as I said, 2009, and when we went there as an Afghan coming to Australia and going somewhere to talk with for Australian, for example, and someone like Din Muhammad you meet with, and he shakes your hands and start crying, sort of, tears is coming, and he's saying, I'm a Muslim Afghan, old man, obviously, yeah, and
it brings back memories.
Yeah, it brings back memories, and you're just surprised what I'm seeing here, in the middle of Australia, in the middle of nowhere, and you just see someone like him. And proudly, very proud, he's saying that, and then at the end he says, do you want me to say a kalima to you, So he just starts saying, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah with his language. It's super, you can't forget that sort of imagination, obviously, and that was when I saw for the first time Din Muhammad. And unfortunately he passed away. So
Subhanallah. May Allah grant him the Jannah.
Ameen.
Brother Fahim, before we end, like we've heard as well, like you are running multiple projects, especially with media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we know that as well. You work a lot with Ramadan TV, with Fardat TV. Can you please tell us a bit about this that project you are doing now? At least the community, they will know what you are doing.
Yes, yes, sure. We do lots of media. Obviously, Fardat TV last 10 years is running in Adelaide. So we that TV is especially for the Afghan community. So it's on language Pashto and Farsi.
Mm-hmm.
These two languages. Then we started Ramadan TV 2012 or 2013 with the Islamic Information Center of South Australia. And since then, that TV is also running on Channel 44, and we grateful of the feedback we get from the people during this time, and yeah, it's good.
Excellent.
And also filmmaking. So the Afghan Cameleers in Australia was first documentary we did. The second one is on the way now, and we are a little bit deeper in the history, especially on individual, because there are a couple of individuals very well known in Australia. Muhammad Alam is one of them. Abdul Wahid is another one who actually built the Adelaide Mosque in 1880. So Abdul Wahid is a person who came, and I saw that a group of people bought a land for the mosque, but under the mortgage. So he said, well, the mortgage is not good for the mosque. Let's say pay the mortgage, you pay to the bank, and you guys, if you can pay me back, that's good. If not, that's one. That's all right. Yeah.
This is the first time I've heard about this story.
Yeah. This is so my second document is going to be on that topic.
Okay.
Deeper individual.
So, mashallah, you have a lot of history about the Muslim community here. I don't think this enough for you one segment in the Salam TV. Inshallah, if we continue with the Salam TV, we'll host you for another episode, especially about the Muslim community. Thank you very much, Brother Fahim. Mashallah, you've done a very good job, and you give us a really good information and new information about the Muslim community, especially from the background of Afghani community. Thank you very much. And now, what we have to now?
So we've got our sponsored video to go to in a second. But just before we finish, was there anything else you wanted to add, Brother Fahim, before we go to our sponsored video?
No, thank you very much. I think it's good to have you guys here. I mean, this is very good. Thank you very much for the TV program. I think it helped a lot during the month of Ramadan, and subhanAllah, that's good to see that sort of media platform is going on, especially in our Muslim community. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you for coming, Brother Fahim. There you have it, viewers. Brother Fahim, thank you very much for coming. We'll go to our sponsor video now, inshallah. Terry White Chemmart down at Goodwood Road in Cumberland Park. The details are on the screen now in this video. Thank you for sponsoring tonight's episode. We'll see you back in a moment after this short video. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. My name is Irfan, pharmacist Irfan Hashmi, and I'm a pharmacist at Terry White Cumberland Park Pharmacy, which is located on corner of Goodwood Road and Cross Road, and this is just adjacent to Big W Shopping Centre. And we're providing a number of services which can be beneficial for our community, especially who lives in Adelaide, especially from Muslim background, that I like to highlight today, especially those services which can be beneficial for a number of customers who take medication or who take complementary medication. Look, I'd like to introduce my team here at Terry White Cumberland Pharmacy. We got 3 pharmacists on site, trained pharmacists, and we got intern pharmacists. The special thing that we have here is we are different multicultural background staff here, and they can speak different languages. So that can be beneficial for our community people if they want to come and talk to us. And another edge that we were providing is that we are pharmacists, and we know the difference between what is a requirement, especially when someone Muslim come in and ask for a halal source, that we can definitely guide them, because we stock range of complementary medication, range of multivitamins which are like certified halal from the manufacturers. And one of the key product that I noticed, that because of this COVID, everyone need immunity, to boost their immunity. This Armor 4 from Bioceuticals is one of the source which is actually certified halal, and there are a number of other products from Blackmore which we keep, and there are a list of other medication which we have in the shop, but I can certainly advise those who need that advice from the pharmacy. So we have that evidence, and we have the website's evidence from the manufacturer. So that's something which can fulfill anyone's question, anyone if they're looking for a certified halal source of complementary medications. Especially I like to mention about our services, especially due to this flu season and COVID. There was an extra pressure on the pharmacies to get these flu shot, which is quite common in Australian winters or before winters. We do flu shots here. We have 3 trained pharmacists, accredited pharmacists, who can do vaccines here at the pharmacy. We have enough stock. We have secure stock to provide the service. We got couple of online portals that you can book online if you want to come here, or just simply walk into the pharmacy at Cumberland Park and we can do the vaccine for you. And on 13th of May, which is this Wednesday, we're doing a special family clinic where we have invited a practitioner nurse. They are allowed to do vaccine for children as well, for 2 years or above. So that clinic is like from Wednesday 10:30 onwards, so anyone can come and book their vaccine for their families. Besides that, as a pharmacist in South Australia, from SA Health legislation, we are allowed to do vaccine for 10 years or above. So anyone who need the vaccine, flu vaccine, we have the stock. As well as flu vaccine is a requirement for a lot of companies, like example, if someone working in aged care or someone working in with children, they need to have this vaccine and they need to provide evidence. So we are doing everything for them as well. And we are also authorized to upload the registration of that vaccine on Australian Immunization Register through our system that we have in place. And another thing I'd like to mention, that besides flu vaccine, we are also allowed to do whooping cough vaccine. Whooping cough vaccine is required when someone is having a baby, or especially the people who work with children, like school teachers or people who are working in childcare. So they have the guideline that they need to have whooping cough vaccine. So as a pharmacist, we can do whooping cough vaccine, no prescription required for those kind of vaccines. So this is something I like to especially highlight that today. We are proud to provide this service for especially those who actually need medication and pack medication. We do this kind of service which is called blister packaging, blister pack service, which we provide from our pharmacy, and pharmacists check this medication and we deliver to residents' home. And the process is very simple. Doctor write a prescription, doctor gave a medication chart, and we follow the chart and we put the medication according to the advice by the doctor. If it's a morning tablet, afternoon, lunch or dinner, we pack them, and we pack them 4 weeks supply. So the person is comfortable having those medication at their home, and we deliver them on their convenient time. And this is a free delivery service additionally that we're providing in from our pharmacy. We got a couple of dedicated staff, we got a couple of dedicated cars here which is there from last couple of years, and we're providing that for a number of residents around living here close by vicinity in Cumberland, or we go up to 15 to 20 minutes drive, or maybe half an hour drive from here. So anyone who need that medication service deliver for the parents or the family, just let us know and we will take care for them. Yeah, this packaging and this delivery is a free service from Cumberland Pharmacy. There's one service that we established, that collaborating with GPs or doctors, that due to the COVID, because people are staying at home, doctors are happy to assist our customers who want their prescription to be renewed, or they want to see a GP, and the telephone consultation can be arranged for the customer from the pharmacy. We can arrange a doctor to call you and get the consultation done over the phone, and a prescription can be generated and they can be given to us, and we can provide the medication. So that's how easy it is, and that's all funded by the government, no charge to the customer. And another service that we provide is that if someone needs some of their, like if they're worried about the blood pressure, they just walk into the pharmacy. We do that free blood pressure and free blood sugar test for them. And we offer loyalty program card, which is quite unique with in the sense that when someone spends some money, that they generate some cash reward. They can get some freebies at the end of the year, financial year, or also Terry White has joined hand with Qantas frequent flyer points as well. So that's something, if you're flying with Qantas, you love to have more points on your frequent flyer card. So that's something which you can achieve with coming here at Terry White Cumberland Pharmacy. Well, thank you for watching us, and thank you for watching for Salam TV, and happy Ramadan Mubarak and happy Eid coming in next few days. I hope you have a wonderful Eid coming with your family, and Ramadan Mubarak again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to our sponsors for tonight's episode, Terry White Kenmark, brother Irfan Hashmi. Thank you very much for sponsoring tonight's episode of Al Salam TV, episode 28. We'll continue with our program for the night, inshallah. So, brother Ahmed, I might put the mic to you. So, what's happening? There's a bit of confusion regarding Eid this year during times of COVID-19, coronavirus. What's happening? What are we doing? What are we not doing? Can you please shed some light for our viewers tonight?
Okay, sure, brother Zuhair. So, like as you know, like the government, they eased the restriction on 11th of May to allow 10 people to go to the mosque. But as everyone knows, 10 people is like really very hard to control it. And especially in the Eid, okay, so when you expect thousands of people to come to the mosque, so it is impossible to manage it. So that's why we had the meeting last time with the imams. And we've told them like we have to give like some sort of services to the Muslim community, especially in the Eid, because everyone asks what we have to do in the Eid. So everyone like get opinion, and in this one is because it hasn't happened before, so that's why everyone would like try their best to give the best opportunity for the Muslim community to celebrate Eid. So that's why we come in a conclusion. It is not the best conclusion or not the best solution, but it is the only available at the moment. So from 7 to 8 o'clock, we'll inshallah use this platform, Salam TV, to broadcast the takbir. And mashallah, the group of the Salam TV, they already discussed how to broadcast this like takbir from different like venue. I'm not going to say it now because I have to leave it as a surprise for the Muslim community. And they can pray the Salat al-Eid before 8 o'clock. Okay? And inshallah, like tomorrow, Imam Abdul Salam on his Friday khutbah reminder, like as well on Salam TV, he will explain how the people that can pray the Eid praying at their home. And at 8 o'clock exactly, so Imam Riyadh, inshallah, will say the khutbah, or like reminder. I don't know if you can call it khutbah, but it will be the Eid khutbah. And then everyone from their home, they pray it and listen to this khutbah, and then can celebrate at their home, because still the restriction for 10 people apply even at your home. Okay, so that's why I don't suggest or I don't recommend anyone to come to the mosque at the Eid, because the mosque will be closed. Like I'm talking at least about Marion and Wandana. And up to my knowledge as well, Khalil Mosque is going to close. I don't know about the other mosques, but this what we have so far. So it is from home, and the only life will be the khutbah and takbir.
Okay. So just from going one step back, how do people pay their zakat al-fitr? Normally they come to the mosque, and on the day of Eid in the morning, they'll put their donation in the sadaqah box, in the charity box. What can they do this year if they're not allowed to come to the masjid?
Okay, so like we have the facility for them to transfer the money to the Islamic Society account, or like to send it to a human appeal, because at the end of the day we have the agreement to give all the zakat fitr to human appeal, inshallah. So they can choose either way to send it to the Islamic Society account, or to human appeal.
Yep. So those bank details that are on the screen now, that is the bank details that they can send it to. Is that all they have to
Yes,
do?
and it is on the screen, so they can send to the.
Any reference name?
Just put a zakat fitr as a reference.
Sure. So for the viewers at home, the bank details are on the screen there, so you can make your zakat al-fitr payment to the BSB, and the account number that is on the screen. It is to Commonwealth Bank, and the account name is the Islamic Society of SA. Please put in the reference zakat al-fitr, so that we know that your money can be allocated for that particular cause. So please take note of that, and make sure you do it before your Eid Salat if you're praying it at home on Sunday, inshallah. So I think we'll go to the hadith of the day. Brother Ahmed, was there anything else you wanted to add regarding the Eid on Sunday?
Let's have the hadith.
Okay, excellent. Let's go to the hadith of the day, inshallah.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: ينزل ربنا تبارك وتعالى كل ليلة إلى السماء الدنيا حين يبقى ثلث الليل الآخر فيقول: من يدعوني فأستجيب له ومن يسألني فأعطيه ومن يستغفرني فأغفر له. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said: Our Lord, the Blessed and Excelled, descends every night to the lowest heaven when 1/3 of the latter part of the night is left, and says: Who supplicates me, so that I may answer him? Who asks me, so that I may give to him? Who asks me forgiveness, so that I may forgive him?
Yes, what a beautiful hadith to end today's segment on. It's not the end of Ramadan yet. Don't stop making your dua even after Ramadan. Be consistent, as you read in that hadith. The best time is to just before Fajr, the last third of the night. So keep up with your dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always listening, and this is the best time of the day to make your dua, in the last third of the night. So please, brothers and sisters, be consistent. So before we go to the last video of tonight and end the session tonight, Brother Ahmed, what's up with WhatsApp?
What's up? Yeah, this is a good question. So as you may aware, Brother Zuhair, that alhamdulillah, we've got a new platform to communicate with the, like our community. We've got like a new platform is about the WhatsApp. So what's the difference between this WhatsApp and the normal WhatsApp? This is commercial WhatsApp. Okay, so we design it in a way that people they can communicate the society, or they can get know about what's going on like in the society without like calling us. So they can just, if you can see on the green line there, you can see at the end here, there is the link. This link, if you just press on it, so you can join directly to our WhatsApp. And if there is anything important related to coronavirus or anything new in the society or in the Muslim community, we are going to send a message for those who are joining this WhatsApp. And we are not it's not some people asking if I join this WhatsApp, many people can put the message. No one can put message in this account without the authority of the the people who are running this platform.
So all content only comes from ISA?
Only from ISA. And we are, as a ISA, we are not going to send every day many messages. It's just if there is any important message, we send it if depend how it's important and this about this message. So this is very useful for the community, very useful for us to communicate with the community. I know some people said, okay, you have the Facebook, why you are doing the WhatsApp now? So it's very simple, this, because some people, they're not all the time checking the Facebook. But when we send a message to the WhatsApp, so they can find a way what's going on. Mm-hmm. So this is the reason behind the WhatsApp.
Excellent. So even though there won't be messages sent too often from ISA, but the actual channel itself is updated daily. So if you do want to find more information, you can look it up daily and have access to that to see any changes, any updates within the channel itself.
Yeah, as you can see, we have a short video, but it's not available now. People, if they want to know about the society, press 1. If they want to know about the activity, they press certain number. So without communicate with anyone. But if there is any urgent message, we will send it to the people who already joined the WhatsApp platform.
Excellent. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you haven't joined the channel, please look at the green link that is on the screen right now. Copy paste that link, or just send a message to 04 ISA, which is 0447724772, so you can keep in touch and utilize this channel. So was there anything else you wanted to add, Brother Ahmed, before I end the segment for tonight?
No.
All good? Okay.
Leave it for you.
Thank you. I hope I've done good today.
I've done very good.
Pay rise, I think. Pay rise, Brother Ahmed.
But this is your last time, I think.
My last time. Did you hear that? Back to the computer.
No, I've done very good. I'm joking.
Thank you, Jazakallah. You've done well as well. I'm proud of you, Ahmed. You've done good.
Mashallah.
Okay, so let's end tonight's show, inshallah. Thank you very much to our viewers at home for joining us for Salam TV episode 28. Tomorrow night is the last episode for Ramadan we are holding. So I won't tell you exactly what's going on too much tomorrow. But we will be having a segment with Pinnacle College tomorrow, so please tune in at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, inshallah, for episode number 29, which would be the last episode for Ramadan. So please tune in, don't miss out the last episode, inshallah. We'll leave you with one video, inshallah, from one of our viewers of Salam TV who had an experience during Laylatul Qadr a couple of nights ago and wanted to share it with the viewers. So we'll leave you with this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you once again. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, inshallah. Thank you for listening today. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters in Islam. We are finding our night of Laylatul Qadr. We know it's an odd number night. It's the 21st. 23rd, 25th, 27th, or 29th night of Ramadan. It is the night of power, forgiving, decree, and mercy. Allah will forgive all our sins on this day. Happy Eid Mubarak.